In the online role-playing game Final Fantasy XIV, slaying dragons isn't the only fantasy fans are playing out. Meet Final Fantasy XIV's courtesans. They're offering a more mature gaming experience to players who have the means. In exchange for lofty fees, cat girls and elven boys sprawl out on beds with well-moneyed Johns in these 18-plus love dens. In Final Fantasy XIV's Brothels, courtesans offer role-playing services ranging from some lighter bondage fare to all things tentacles. What they can't get across in text, they express using emotes like /hug and /doze. We sat down with these courtesans to get a better idea of what the game's working girls do. Meet Queen Tepe and her partner Vai. Tepe is a madam who owns the brothel Tepe's Treasures. She gave us a tour of her facilities after hours. Here's the foyer where available courtesans hang out during a service. Johns will pay half their fee up front. The public part of Tepe's mansion includes a lounge, a stage for dancing, a bar, what she calls her war room, and a tea room that is, of course, also a spa. In private is where the action happens. Courtesans with enough cash can buy private rooms in Tepe's mansion. Here, the courtesans roleplay sex in the game's text chat. An encounter's first few minutes might look like the sample exchange two courtesans offered us, but wordplay isn't everything. Final Fantasy XIV sex workers are masters of the game's emote system. Sometimes, players who aren't at their computers will earn a few extra bucks by programming their avatar to dance until they're back. Down in the basement of Tepe's Treasures, Queen Tepe showed us her room, which has a hot tub and 2 beds, and another room with a leafy motif. None of this answers the question, who does this? One courtesan said he got into erotic role-playing because of his IRL partner, who's also a courtesan in the game. Sex work lets him shed inhibitions and make friends. Whatever he does in the game, he says, stays in the game. Another courtesan we spoke to, who goes by Miss K, is actually a dominatrix in real life. So Final Fantasy XIV sex work isn't a sexual outlet for her as much as it's an outlet for her writing. Courtesans don't disclose their real-life genders. To them, the character is the character. That's all that should matter to the client. Tepe said she'd never done erotic roleplay before she started her business. When someone comes to her with a fetish she doesn't have, she said, I do it anyways. I learn their fetishes, figure out what makes them tick, and try to write it so well that nobody would know it wasn't my fetish. To her, running a brothel is a challenge not unlike Final Fantasy XIV's endgame raids. It's a challenge that the game doesn't explicitly endorse, but certainly empowers.